Look at that.
Just got knocked down.
Are you dead?
Did you get that?
No, I'm not dead. I just got knocked down.
What's up, convicts? This is KG48, and welcome to a brand new, well, it's not going to be a Let's Play for Jaws of Extinction, but it's going to be a special video. All right, I have two of the developers with me, Ryan and Scrub.
That's one.
That's his name, guys. That's his name. I didn't give it to him. That's what he's called in Discord.
Neither did I.
So what's up, guys?
Yeah, good.
Hey.
Cheers.
So what are your official titles?
Well, my name's Ryan. I'm the lead developer and CEO of KYE Creations.
Okay.
And I'm James, or Scrub, and I'm a developer working on Jaws of Extinction.
Cool. All right. So what are we doing right now? What is this? Some co-op stuff? What is this all about?
Right, this is a co-op that we've sort of privately released to some people that we're going to be putting into our prototype. That is available to the public who back us on Kickstarter currently. And what this is just a looking at a very basic world event that will happen throughout the multiplayer world.
Is this going to be like an instance, or is this going to be like you're going to walk up to a guy and then this is going to be actually part of the world?
Yeah, this is going to be part of the world. Even though in the prototype we've split it up into separate bits, everything that's in the prototype will all be in one world.
Okay. Oh, and I just wanted to say this right off the bat, guys. They are on Kickstarter. If you want to check them out, the link to their Kickstarter is in the description. If you like what you see, maybe you want to throw them a couple bucks, see if you like it. So, all right. So how do we get this started? Okay, so last prototype we fell off. Is this like in order, or is this just like random like story beats?
Yeah, it's kind of, it's just snippets of the main game. So the actual prototype on Lockrest Islands that you played was sort of like the tutorial to the game. It's the prologue to the main story. Even though we didn't have a lot of story in it, that part will also be in the main game as a single player tutorial. And then so you've escaped the islands and you've got to Eden the Deer, which is the main open world, which is around 68 kilometers square of explorable land, waters, rivers, seas, bushes, forests, the lot. And I've gone blank.
I was just going blank too, because someone in chat just said, I'm gonna be honest, I came here thinking this was a shark game. No.
We've had a lot of people say that, yeah.
I also had someone ask to ask you about the building or renting space in safe zones.
Yes, so you will be able to build your own base, very much like in Rust or Ark or anything like that, where it's sort of like you place the items down and you build your own structure. But you will also be able to fortify POIs in the world with boards and put traps around and build them up as well. But you will also be able to rent properties within safe zones that you will be able to store gear in. So because obviously being a PvP environment, you might get people trying to raid your base. So you can store stuff in these safe zones that you don't want to lose, precious stuff that you use.
Okay, I wanted to ask something. Maybe this is a little bit far along in development. Maybe you haven't thought about it or what. But what are you gonna have sleepers?
We still haven't thought about that. We still don't know whether to have sleepers or to have the bodies to spawn.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't really thought about that yet.
Okay, now everyone knows I'm not a big PvP guy, but even as a PvP guy, I really loathe the idea of sleepers. Maybe some kind of offline raid protection might be good, and some kind of 5-minute thing where if you're in combat you can't log out, so people can't combat log, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because like I said, going back to some of the other games I've played in PvP, it's really demoralizing when you come on and you have to go to work or to bed, and you come on the next day and all your stuff's gone, and they took all your stuff while you weren't even there. So
the thing is, we're trying to stop combat logging, like in the armor daisies and stuff like that is the fact you're never going to be able to stop people just shutting the game down.
Yes. Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, like someone in combat that maybe they can't combat, maybe they can't log. You know, something like that. I don't know. That's for you guys to figure. That's for you guys to figure out, though. I just give my opinion on how much I hate the whole sleeper thing. What another thing I want to ask you: do we share loot, or like do I have separate loot containers than you guys?
It's all sort of. So if you loot one of these containers and we go into it, the loot will be gone.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
If we put loot in, then you'll be able to take it.
Okay.
Or if we drop loot, you can pick it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I didn't like take all your guns, or like how did we all end up getting guns then? Wouldn't one person have taken it all?
We've actually placed enough in that room there, so 4 players can.
So you can only take one gun at a time anyway. So I wouldn't be able to take all 3. Yeah. Okay. Because I was hitting take all. I wasn't really looking. Will the whole rep thing carry between servers?
That's a good question. Actually, that is something that we could probably look into, because then you'd probably have players being idiots in one server and then jump into another server and start doing the same thing, but still get into safe zones and stuff like that. So yeah, that's an interesting idea. We could probably think about carrying across the integrity and the and who they are in the game across. Yeah, that might be a good idea.
All right. Well, let's get some action in. For you guys on YouTube, I do have Twitch up right now, and I'm streaming. That's where we're taking questions. So let's get some action though. So and I'll ask more questions later.
Right. So what we got to do is, well, the event's been triggered. We have to repair this radio tower right here.
Okay.
And what we have to do there is go up each of one of the 3 of these paths and find a part to just then place on the bottom tower here, which will then place that part on the tower. That will then call in an evacuation.
Okay. Do you want me to lead, right? Because you know how to do it all already, right?
Yeah.
No, pick a path and we'll follow.
All right, let's do it. Okay.
I hope it's not too dark for you recording. It will start getting light again.
If it is, I could always mess with it in post. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
You got a flashlight or L, F? No. Okay.
No.
Flashlights are equipment, but we don't have that equipment on us at the moment.
Okay. So can we get attachments for our gun for flashlights?
You will, but yes, you will be able to. You'll be able to completely upgrade your weapons, put silencers on, extended magazines, and new hollow sights and.
Can we go off into the woods? Oh, we can. Look at this.
You can, but
and I know I'm not supposed to, but look at me. I'm doing it anyway.
we'll probably get lost.
Oh, really? So this is open. This isn't like the other prototype.
Yeah, no. This is quite open. This
is there any building mechanics in the prototype yet?
In this version, we've actually you can, but we haven't got the abilities to get the resources to get building items.
Okay. Because I'm a builder, man. That's the stuff I can't wait to like make a base and I can't jump over this.
Yes.
Maybe some kind of vaulting option or something. Oh, look at that. Freaking ninja. Look at that. Hey. I think that guy was in God mode.
Speedrunner on our hands.
That guy was in God mode. I saw that.
I made the map. I know there it is.
Oh, I got it.
Yes, but we had a question in our Discord only the other day that were going on about are we going to have sort of like free climbing and stuff like that, and that is something we're definitely going to be looking into, is like vaulting over and also rock climbing and free climbing and stuff.
Well, I don't like that. Not the tree climbing, rock climbing. I don't like the zombie sounds. Oh, here we go. Oh, they're there. Always a farmhouse in one of these games. I love it. Well, I don't know if there's a farmhouse. It looks like a barn to me. Okay. All right.
So yeah, this is to sort of like give you a bit more of the idea of the open world of even the deer. Oh. This is sort of like part of the farm.
Are they going to break through that door? Yep. Okay. I'm going to try and go up on the top because I almost had it. I just jumped a little bit late.
You go on the bottom. You go on the top, we'll stay on the bottom. The part you're looking for is actually on the top there.
Okay.
Watch out.
buggers when they get back up again.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's new, right? That didn't happen in the other one, did it?
Well, we've constantly been working on the AI, and we're still actually in talks of completely rebuilding them as it is anyway. But yes, there's also always things. We've actually fixed the whole jazz hand problem. I don't know if you ever saw that when they ran at you, they looked like they were doing the jazz hand thing.
I never noticed because I was usually crapping my pants.
But now that's all fixed.
Is there any way to tell if I got the item? I got something, but I don't really know what it was.
Oh yeah, sure. If you open up your inventory with tab,
Okay.
you should see part in there.
Am I actually inventory?
Yeah.
Okay. Tower upgrade 02. Okay, cool. Oh,
That's
look at all this stuff. Tents, campfires. Oh.
So what a tent can be used as is like a storage item. So if you're out way away from your base or anything, you can pop a tent down, and you can actually store items in it.
Okay. So it's kind of like a chest.
Yeah, in a way, just a larger chest, and you'll be able to get camouflage options for it and stuff like that as well.
Oh, I like these wooden half ramps. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, we want to try and get quite creative with the base build.
Look at the foundation stairs. Yeah, building. Yeah, that's what I love in these games more than anything.
Well, one thing with it, because I'm quite a big Ark fan. I've got a lot of hours in Ark as well, and so one thing I always liked that they did with the S Plus mod is that they allowed you to stack foundations. So we've done that in this. You can actually stack.
The S
foundations
Plus
on top
mod
of
was
each other.
ridiculous. That should have been in Ark. Like, I can't believe it's not in Ark yet.
Yeah,
Like, just
exactly.
insane.
So you can stack foundations to actually build like lookout towers and stuff like that.
Someone said, "What about the nav system? Will you be enforcing use of compasses and maps, grids, and such, or simple maps, or?"
You will have a map in the game, but you will have to find it to start with.
Good.
And same with a compass. And what the compass, you won't have to actually put it in your hand. Once you've got a compass equipped, that'll show the compass in sort of like the top part of your screen. So you can see where you're going, and you'll be able to see stuff like objectives on it, and markers you place, and friends that are on.
I love the idea of finding maps. Like I thought it'd be really cool if, like, you know, you have to find a piece of paper and then a pencil even or pen something and like fill out the map as you like automatically as you run around the world. I think that would be like awesome. Do I put this thing in it or?
Yeah.
You can do, yeah. So you just place it in your hotbar and
okay.
But yeah, that's a good idea with the drawing on that. Would you suggest sort of like having sort of a fog of war type of effect on the map so it unlocks as you explore that part of the world?
Yes, yes, exactly. Almost like, you know, like in real life, if you were walking along a path, you'd be sketching it as you go, you know? And then once you've walked down a path, you have that area. And if you go out into the field, you kind of sketch the field, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a nice idea, that.
I'm starting to get quite hungry and thirsty, so I don't know about you guys, but it might be a good time to either loot and grab some drinks or consume what you've got.
Did I do that right?
Yes.
It went up there, like showed me the top, so I guess I did it.
Oh yeah, I can see them at the top there.
Yeah, you've placed it up there.
All good.
Okay, wait, let me take a look up. Wait, hunger and thirst. Okay, so how do I see my hunger and thirst again? That's like...
You press V, but it might be a bit hard with the snow, so I'd get a dark background.
I don't know if you guys can see it right there on the bottom right-hand side. Oh yeah, hunger and thirst is bad. Okay, so let's what looks like a loot area? This looks like there's loot this way. Right?
Yes.
Cage, ask if there are tree houses. Are you gonna be kind of tree house? That might be a little advanced, but yeah, write that down in your little book or something. And tree houses in the future.
Yeah, definitely. But any suggestions you got? Like we said, if you find the game looks is interesting to you and you want to follow us, then you jump on a Discord. We've got areas there where you can pop feedback and ideas in and chat with us and chat to the rest of our community and stuff.
Can you ask if stuff like loot and stats can carry over across servers?
Yeah, we have like with the neutrality thing. how bad the player is in the PvP. So we're not too sure. It would be something that we'd probably think of doing. We've got to take a right here, Gage.
Okay.
It would be something that we'd definitely think about doing, but then we have to think of other elements that it would bring into, as like going onto a server of your own, maxing your character's level out, so your skill trees are top level and stuff like that, and then you jump onto like a day one server and end up wiping the floor with everyone.
Yeah, exactly. That would be incredibly hard to balance.
Yeah.
Aim feels a little weird. Probably my mouse sensitivity, but I'm not gonna mess with it. I'll just miss a bunch. It's good. Something in there.
Yeah, I see him in the window.
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Oh man, I just got killed by the lead dev.
Should be an achievement.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a flight now.
Yeah, if you look in the corner here,
yeah,
there's a neck piece.
That's a piece of the radio tower there.
Oh, okay. How do I have any health? I should have some health items, right?
Yeah, you should have some bandages and some blood bags.
Okay.
And they each have statistical changes.
Could you make it so if we're in inventory, we press escape, it gets us out of the inventory?
Yes, we are supposed to be doing that.
So if I put a bandage in number 8, how do I use it?
Just press number 8.
Yeah, I'm doing it. That's not. Wait, actually, is it? Okay, it didn't have any kind of like thing saying I was doing it, so I was confused. Oh, my timer. Sorry about that. All right. Okay, how many did I have there? Oh, I see. It stays in the inventory, but it's like linked to your. It's kind of like when you copy and paste something to your desktop, or shortcut to your desktop. So it stays in your inventory. Not a lot of games do that, so it's a little.
And if you want to remove it from the hotbar, basically what you do is you just drag it off the hotbar and sort of throw it to the side or something, and actually remove that shortcut.
Is melee combat possible? If so, will we have large selections of weapons, melee weapons?
Yes, melee combat is going to be a thing in there. You're going to be able to craft melee weapons, upgrade them. You'll be able to find different types of melee weapons that you can't actually craft throughout the world. Because one thing that you're not going to be able to do in Jaws of Extinction, like you can in games like Rust and that, is you're not going to be able to craft firearms.
Okay.
You'll be able to craft bows.
Loot only.
But firearms are actually going to be something that you have to find the parts for and put the weapon together, or find the actual whole weapon. You can't actually go into a forge and smelt parts of a weapon and stuff like that, like you can in Rust and Ark and stuff like that.
Will you suggest that they kill you if you leave in combat and make you have bad rep? Like if someone like if they leave the game, they can't kill. Well, I guess if they're sleepers, they can. But yeah.
Well, you're sort of talking about like the combat lock kind of thing.
Yeah, I just say don't let them log. Or, I guess they could. They could just shut off their game. I guess you can't stop someone.
That's what I mean. But yeah, what you could do is actually, like your viewer just said, is that you could actually instantly give them like a bad reputation for actually doing that. So if they ever log back into the server again, then the consequences would have had an effect on them.
I think Oh, hold on. I just put the other part in there. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I think a good way to handle it might be like, okay, so you have sleepers, okay, but there's raid protection. There's like offline raid protection. But if someone like is in a combat and can you have something where someone's in combat, like a trigger goes off in the game, letting them know they're in an encounter? I don't know how you would do that though. Maybe you can't log off if someone's done a certain amount of damage, but then people could grief out. This is really hard, guys. I don't envy you.
It's a difficult. You have to balance things so much, and I think that's why a lot of people do the sleeper thing now instead of doing it like DayZ did with the combat logging.
My guy's kind of all over the place. Is that because I have no rifle skill?
Yeah, and yeah, you have to obviously level up in your
Oh, you changed this a little. No, you didn't change it, actually. There's my skills. Okay, so guns or rifles. Yeah. Okay, so when I was playing last time, I was getting all the kills, but you guys are getting kills now. So where does it show my level?
What, your overall level?
Yeah, like right now I have 4.6 of 5 experience in rifling, but I don't see my actual level. Like if you got rifle damage 1, does that change the way it looks? Like the thing that says rifle damage 1, does it give you any indication that you got that skill?
Yes. So the last thing that you what's this? You went up the level you went up in. It will show that in the first slot, and it will automatically change the tree around, showing what you got and what's next and stuff.
Well,
but we are actually.
Right now it shows rifle damage, reload time, reload speed, moving accuracy, jam risk, and recoil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But I have no way of telling if I've gotten any of these yet, or at least I don't know how.
So if your gun's level 1, then anything with...
Am I missing that? I must be missing that. Where's gun level 1? I gotta go back. Open all skills.
So you can see that you've got gun...
Yeah, I guess I'm gun level 0 because I don't see anywhere it says gun level 1. I'm probably just missing it.
See, like, I'm rifle level 2, and I just unlocked reload time, decreasing rifle reload.
Oh, someone said check my looting skill because I leveled that up earlier. Okay, so let's take a look at that really quick. Looting.
We are actually in the middle of totally redesigning AI as well, because we want to try and make it as user-friendly as possible. And if it confuses anyone at any time.
Is there only 4 levels of looting?
It's at the moment, yeah.
Okay, so, yeah. Oh, it says looting 1. Okay, I see where it says looting 1. Okay.
So levels are capped at level 5 in the prototype.
Okay. So you're going to be redoing the skill tree?
Yeah, so we're going to be totally redesigning the UI completely, the inventory and everything, how things work.
Yeah, I don't know how you handle that. No spawn camping thing. I mean, oh boy, fork in the road. I don't like decisions.
You know what? I think we're taking the wrong turn. I think we need to head back.
Oh really?
Yeah. We need to head over to Swan Lake.
Okay.
That is an excellent name for it. You just made it official.
Yeah. I guess if you give offline raid protection, people are gonna combat lock. If you don't, people are gonna kill people when they're not there and take all their stuff. It's gonna be the majority of the gameplay. People don't want fair fights; they want easy loot. Especially if you consider like bandages and bullets as a resource. Why would you ever raid anyone that's actually there when you could just go hunting for sleepers?
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, we got another scary barn over here. I'll check it out, guys.
Oh, wow.
You go in.
We'll try and help.
Oh, God.
There's one coming down the ramp.
So you really have to worry about line of fire, because I get hit by you guys when I do zombies. You can't just run in front of people. Yeah.
Yeah, with the ricochet as well. It's amount of time when we were testing.
What the hell is this? Is it a geese? Can I kill it?
That's a swan.
You see, I was saying it was geese before.
Yeah, I'm not up on my birds. Yeah, you can't kill them.
I thought exactly the same as you.
Oh, what's this? Can I get that? Can I hit things with it? No.
Yeah, that's the thing you need to pick up.
Is it that bar on the ground?
Yeah, that's the thing you need to pick up. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the thing. Okay. All right.
That's
right.
it.
Let's head back.
So now.
It's not rocket science to implement offline raid protection and combat lag prevention. Okay, how? How would you do it? These guys are looking for any kind of input they can get, good or bad, doesn't matter. Just let them know what you think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, head back this way, Cage.
Oh, am I going the wrong way again? What's new? If I'm going away, I just assume it's the wrong way.
Yeah, it's not hard to implement the fact you can't damage structures and that when the owner of the structure is offline or anything like that. But the thing is, you've got to keep it balanced, and it's if you don't balance the gameplay, make it fair, then you know it's gonna ruin the whole aspect of it.
Yep, exactly.
So I think the best thing to do like that is to, like someone was saying before, that you actually reduce their integrity. So if they combat log, if they're being attacked and they combat log to get the offline raid protection to fall in place.
Oh crap! Where do we go for extracting?
Yeah, just hang around here.
Oh, okay. So all right. So
yeah.
Prevent a character from logging out for X amount of time, regardless if the client is connected. Okay, yeah. So if someone logs out, if they're in combat when they log out, just put their body don't make. I guess you're saying don't make sleepers, but that's not going to really help against offline raid protection because they're still going to have a bunch of gear. Well, maybe yeah, but then you could have the offline raid protection. Reload, man. I'm used to people reloading automatically.
Yeah, she should reload automatically unless you've jammed.
Oh, okay. Maybe I jammed. I totally forgot about that.
Coming up behind you. Whoop.
Team on the side.
It looks like my gun's aiming at you, even though my crosshairs are going out there.
Yeah, it has to do with the animations, the aim offset. We're actually currently trying to fix this. You could be looking at the sides and your gun's pointing to the right and you're firing straight ahead. But yeah, we're still it's still prototype, you know. We're still trying to.
I just thought it was funny. I mean, it looked like I was shooting it.
Oh, yeah. I just got hit by ricocheting, but.
Oh, there's ricochets?
Yeah.
So pretty satisfying when you manage to land a ricochet shot.
Oh, look
I have ricocheted off a wall and hit a zombie.
Got one in the backfield.
Behind you.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Oh, found me as well.
I was jammed.
Oh god. There we go.
Those coming in here.
Right. Oh god. Coming from behind. Can you stack bandages? Is there a reason to hit more than one at a time?
Yeah, you can stack them, yeah.
No, I mean stack their healing effects.
Yeah, okay. You can do that,
okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm out.
Come on, man, get down here.
More coming in from the right.
I don't have a frames per second thing up, but it feels a little laggy, so I'm having a little trouble aiming.
Right, okay.
But it also maybe because I'm streaming or recording at the same time. That doesn't help.
Yeah, there might be latency as well because.
Yeah, it probably is latency.
Let's go.
Look at that.
Just got knocked down.
Are you dead?
Did you get to
No, I'm not dead. I just got knocked down.
On my screen, you're not moving. Can I get you up?
No, there's no getting up yet. I just got to wait it out.
Let's go. You can go for the heli.
Okay. Can I jump up into the rotor blades? Come on, get in. I saw the E key, now I don't see it anymore.
Press F.
F. Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah,
F.
Get in.
Alright, there you go. Very cool. Sandbox mode. Is sandbox mode anything yet, or?
Yeah.
It's I gotta remember to grab that axe. All right, guys, we're back. We could do sandbox mode individually, but we couldn't get in as a group yet. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's it. Yeah.
Okay, so basically the video part of this is over, but I'm going to continue talking to the developers, and I'm talking to them with people on Twitch right now. But I figured I might as well record it and put it on YouTube. If you came here just for gameplay, then that part of it's over. But if you want to hear what the developers have planned and stuff, you know, stick around. And, you know, go to their Discord and everything, because they're very active on there. So if you have any questions, if you have any suggestions, you know, if you just want to chat with them, just go to their Discord, because like I said, they're very active, and Discord is a wonderful thing. Okay, so Elder Scrolls asks, Cage, ask how civilized stuff will work, like farming and complex crafting will work, if it will be in the game.
Yes, complex crafting and farming is. We've actually got farming plots that you can create on your bases and like that, and you'll be able to go out to the fields and gather seeds and crops from there to put into your own farmlands. Obviously, because it's not like a voxel-based game, we're not going to allow you to plant stuff directly in the ground, so you are actually have to going to build like plant beds and farm beds and stuff. But there's going to be a lot to do with you're going to be able to sustain your own life kind of thing by creating and harvesting your own food, going out and hunting, drying meat on racks to make it last longer, and stuff like that.
So there's going to be food spoilage, right?
Yeah. Yes, there will be eventually. Yeah.
Are you going to have canned food we can find out in the world?
Yep. Yeah. It'll be. You'll be able to go to like supermarket and go and loot it and grab food, or you'll be able to trade with NPCs to be able to work for food. You know, they might give you seeds and stuff like that to put in your farmland or your farm plots.
Well, good or bad reputations. What is reputations going to do against good or bad? Like, exactly.
It's going to be an integrity system. So there'll be an integrity system on every player, but there'll also be a perception skill as well. So integrity will waver. It's kind of the way the world of Eden Nadir sees your character. So you could have plus 1,000 integrity, which means everyone thinks you're a hero, or you could have negative 1,000, which, you know, everyone's going to start trying to hunt you down and stuff like that. But you're also going to be able to level up in perception, and the perception what that will do is actually allow you to focus on the player, and it'll give off like an aura, and that aura will obviously like a traffic light system. Green if they got good perception, red if they got bad perception. So you'll be able to see if you've got your high enough level in perception, if this player is someone that goes around hunting NPCs and players.
You mean perception will allow you to see reputation?
Yeah, perception will allow you to see the integrity.
The integrity. Okay, yeah. So so it's basically like walking up to somebody and like kind of like a people person, like a sixth sense. You can kind of judge a character by the way they
exactly.
carry themselves. Yeah.
Exactly. But you will have to level up.
Yes.
In something like that.
Yeah, it's something you have to work on. Yeah, for sure. Someone wants to know if pickling or refrigerating will be a thing.
Refrigerating will definitely be a thing. Pickling sounds like a good idea. It's just putting vegetables and stuff in vinegar and stuff, isn't it? I don't know the ins and outs of pickling.
I had a stepdad once who used to make pickled eggs, and they were the most incredible things I've ever had in my life. Like, just the best. They're just so good. So put some pickled eggs in there, man. That would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but there would be ways to preserve foods and stuff like that, like I was saying, the drying of the
dry rack, or whatever,
and stuff like that. So yeah, if you know, pickling may be something that we put in. It's definitely an interesting idea. Again, jump into our Discord, stick all your ideas in our Discord, because we do go through them and have a play around and see what it would be like to actually add these if it works. Obviously, we've got a vision for the game. And we're not going to change that vision. But if we feel anything that you guys have got to offer that can help the game be better, then of course we will look into it, definitely.
Someone wanted me to ask you about the electrical system. Have you started working on that? Do you have any ideas of how you want to do it, or?
Yes, yes, we've actually been talking about that. It'll be generators that you'll have to actually get and repair generators, and you'll have to. But a bit like how 7 Days to Die do it, where you have to wire things up and stuff like that. But we're not going to have these wires that look terrible because they're sort of all over the place.
Yeah.
We're gonna use a special spline system. It's called a spline cable, is it, James?
Yeah, that's it.
So it's a spline cable. It's something that's built into Unreal Engine that you can cause these cables to have physics, but also have slack, so they're not sort of like stretching across. So they'll lay on the floor natural and stuff like that.
Okay.
So yeah, we're going to actually have something like that, but that'll be during our early access stage.
I would support the rep system if it actually works. I've seen games where the rep affects stuff like that, but the rep system itself is flawed. For example, there's been games where you lose rep for ever killing a player, even if they shot you first or attacked you or attacked out, or even had bad reputation themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So what will happen is if these people have got, because it's going to take time for word of mouth to spread around, but if their integrity is going down by a shot, so as soon as you shoot someone, it will automatically know. By you firing a projectile at someone, we can get data from that projectile that can tell us everything about that player and you. So we'll be able to compare this, and if they've got bad reputation and they've got, say, a bounty on their head, you will not lose integrity for killing that player because they've got a bounty on their head. But of course, if you're shooting players, even if they fired at you first, you're defending yourself. So that will also be able to work that out as well, because like I said, every projectile that is released by the player can gather loads of data from whatever it hits.
Okay, so that's a good question right there. Is there any way? See, this gets very technical, but he's got a good point. So you have to take a hit before you can defend yourself. I mean, I don't know if there's how do you say intent? You know, like if someone like fires in your direction, like that doesn't necessarily mean they were trying to hit you. So I don't know how you would do that. Yeah, it almost have to be take a hit, right?
And you might have one of your friends accidentally hit you.
Yeah.
I think the way it'll work is they actually have to cause considerable damage to you before that will even look at lowering the integrity, because like when we were playing with Case just then, there was ricochet. You know, it's ricocheting off, hitting people and stuff like that, and that was all accidental. We didn't mean to do that. So I think you'd have to actually, like at the end there, I got downed because a zombie had knocked me to the ground. It caused so much damage to me that I got knocked to the ground. It'd have to be something like that. That a player would have to knock you to the ground or even kill you before it actually affected your integrity.
One way around that, where you wouldn't have to worry about friendly fire, are there going to be groups in the game? Can you like group up with your tribe up or whatever with your friends?
Yeah, you will be able to tribe up, and we were even in talks about disabling friendly fire if you were in a tribe and stuff, or in a clan, or anything like that.
Okay, so if you're in a clan with somebody, you could just make it so if they kill each other, there's no rep loss at all, because it was obviously a mistake, and if it wasn't, they're obviously going to get kicked. So
exactly, yeah. And you could even add to that, if they got kicked from a group, it would be like a vote system, a bit like how Sea of Thieves have just done it, where you have to actually vote to put someone in the brig. So you'd have to vote for someone to be kicked, because then if they get kicked from a clan, they could then receive bad integrity because they've been exiled from their group.
Someone wanted me to ask about solar panels.
Yeah, solar power is going to be a thing as well, yes.
Now, they asked about steam engines, but that seems kind of like, is that like, you know?
Yes, there is actually going to be a steam there's actually going to be a steam train. It's actually already in the game. And that is actually owned by the military of the island, and they ship goods around their bases that are scattered around the island. And you will actually be able to hijack them. You won't be able to drive them as such, but you will be able to actually hijack them and be able to steal loot from the military and stuff like that. And they will just go from port to port, station to station around the island. But yeah, that's already in.
And you can check it out on our trailer.
Yeah, that's actually in the trailer near the end.
So they say, well, that talks about the other guy's integrity, but what about your own integrity? It's fine if you have to do considerable damage to take rep hit, but what happens when the other guy is a bad player? It doesn't hurt you enough, and you end up taking a rep hit for defending yourself more effectively than he can kill you.
Well, it's all down to you as a player, isn't it, at the end of the day? If they're not a very good player, and they... and they're trying to kill you, but they're not doing a very good job at it. It's up to you whether to interact with that player and try and kill him, or just walk away.
But if he's saying if he tries to kill him, he's going to get bad integrity.
If you kill him, yeah, that's how it'll work. Even though he's a dumbass, you're still killing a player. You're still taking.
Okay, so let me get this straight, because I'm kind of trying to put this all together. All right, so the reason, like, I would think that if someone shoots you once, they have just opened themselves up to be murdered by you with no integrity loss. And you're saying the reason you don't want to do that is because of friendly fire. But if you could put people in your groups and then that negates the friendly fire, then why not just make it, if anyone damages you, that gives you carte blanche to kill them within like a certain amount of time with no integrity loss? What would be the reasoning to not want to do that?
I don't know. I suppose. Can you just say that last bit again?
Okay.
Just so I can understand you a bit better. So,
like, what I was thinking. Okay, you have you're running around and someone comes at you and shoots at you and hits you once. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if they kill you, they're going to get bad integrity, but they didn't kill you. They just shot you. Okay. And if they shoot you and you turn around and defend yourself and kill them, you're going to get bad integrity because if they don't do enough damage to you. But what I'm saying is, if they shoot you once, that's it. You can kill them with no integrity loss because they instigated it. Now you're saying you didn't want to do that, or you did. That's the way you do want to do it.
No, yeah, that is what you'll be able to do.
Okay, because you were talking about doing like a lot of damage. I'm saying like if you get hit once.
So yeah, if you get it would have to balance out. It's sort of the balancing game at the end of the day, isn't it? So you'd have to get it. Well, do we do it when they've just hit them once, because again they might have been hunting and you walked in their line of path or anything like that, or they'd have to actually knock you to the ground, because you only get knocked to the ground if a certain amount of damage has been applied to one hit. So they could do one hit to you and knock you to the ground, but it all depends on what they've used to actually knock you to the ground.
Yeah, I might add to that with for example, it depends on what weapon you're using and several other factors which will determine. There's no single threshold. There's a lot of factors that would then be balanced upon what constitutes friendly fire or otherwise.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, but friendly fire wouldn't come into that, because like if you're hunting in a group, you're all going to be in the same clan, and that friendly fire doesn't come into account, right? Right. We're talking about people who are like strangers, basically. If I'm shooting a gun out somewhere and I accidentally shoot somebody, that's still on me. It doesn't make it okay. Like, so if someone came and murdered me for doing that, like, I mean,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, okay. So if a stranger comes up to you and shoots you once, whether they knock you down or not, I think you should be able to kill them with free reign.
Yes, you would.
Oh, okay. I think we're miscommunicating then, because I thought you said
that's what I mean. It's a bit sort of like trying to understand how it's. But what will happen is basically, say for instance, they shoot you, they lose 1% of their integrity. Then basically, what it will do is, if they've lost integrity because they've shot at you, and you kill and you hit them, you won't lose any integrity.
Okay, so if I'm wandering out in the world and some dumbass does me some damage, I can waste them with no integrity loss.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's exactly what I wanted. It's okay. Yeah. Well, there you go, John Creighton. I'm sorry. I don't know how to say your name, but yeah, he was the one asking about that.
Right. Like I say, a lot of it's sort of like we'll put a system in play, And then when people play it and they're saying, "Oh, yeah, we don't,"
you never know how it's going to work until you get a lot of people playing it. So
exactly. So, and if that doesn't work, then we'll have to look at it and rethink it and readjust it and stuff like that. Because it might be the point, like we're saying, that yeah, you can fire back at them and hit them, but to sort of scare them away, and you won't lose any integrity or hitting. But if you actually kill them, you might lose a little bit of integrity for that, because all they did is hit you once.
Yeah, exactly, John. You don't get in trouble for thoughts in this world. You get in trouble for actions. So it doesn't matter if someone wants to kill you or not. It doesn't matter their intent. It matters if they actually do damage, especially in a video game. I mean, it'd be really hard to punish someone for what you think they're trying to do. Okay, so let's get off that, because I think we got that all taken care of. Will the season weather okay, so this is interesting. So will the season's weather affect players' health, as in give debuffs? Will it make you slower? Will it, you're gonna have to change your clothes, I'm assuming. Your crops are gonna die. Like
yes, it will change the world around you. So as you play, the world will continually change around you. So if the weather's bad and there's a storm coming or anything like that, if you get wet, or if it's snowing and you're wet and you get cold, you're going to start it with our vital system. We're trying to get it as close to real as possible. So you're not going to start losing health straight away. And if you're in a freezing cold, you'll probably get something like hypothermia before you even start dying. So you have still got a chance, but it will slow you down, and you'll become less hungry and stuff like that. But there's an energy system. We've got no stamina system in the game. But the more you run, the more thirsty you get, the more hungry you get, the more energy you use. And you can replenish this energy by resting or taking supplements to increase your energy and stuff like that. So the way the weather will affect you, it will affect your vitals like it would in real life. And like as your clothes get wet and heavy, you'll get cold and you'll slow down. And the same with if it snows. Obviously you're going to have to wear.
This might be getting a little too technical, but I watch a lot of Survivor shows. And one thing they always say in the Survivor shows, if it's cold, the last thing you want to do is do a lot of extraneous activity, because when it's cold, you start sweating, and when the sweat gets cold, it's basically like you're drenched, and like sweating brings on hypothermia more than anything. So I was gonna say, if it's cold out, and you start running around, maybe when you slow down, that's when you really start getting the hypothermia, because that would certainly be nasty.
Well, that's it. As soon as your body temperature starts to drop, because there is temperature in it.
It's more the fact that you're wet. Like maybe you could have it so the more you run around. I'm assuming you're gonna have some kind of wet meter in the game, like when it's raining and stuff. I was gonna say, if you're running around a lot, especially if you're wearing heavy clothes, that wet meter might go up a little bit because of the sweat.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And you're saying about wet. We're also gonna be having smell in there. So if you're gonna need to wash. And you'll be able to build stations that you can wash at, and stuff like that, and changing clothes, stuff like that. Because if you're smelling or anything like that, you're going to be giving off a scent to more of the undead that are around, especially special infected that are going to be around. They're going to be able to smell you from distances and stuff.
And I'm assuming the seasons will kill your crops, right? If you keep them out, like if you don't sow them at the right time.
Yeah, if you don't harvest your crops at the right time, it's gonna kill them, or they will just disappear. So you'll lose that harvest.
That's gonna be extremely rare. Okay, so they're still talking about accidentally shooting people. He asked another question. Darn it! Oh, he asked a question that's pretty interesting. So he was saying, like, if you kill someone with like lower rep, will that could that somehow give you rep? Like, I guess it would if you were bounty hunting, right? You could probably take bounty hunting missions or something.
Yes, exactly. But what you'll probably be best to do as a player is be able go to these safe zones, and there'll be boards there with people that have been heard to be taking out players or taking out NPCs or just causing havoc, and so they'll have a bounty on the head, so you can collect that bounty, and go. If you come across this player, that's where your perception comes. So if you've looked at that bounty, that'll sort of pop up saying you've looked at this player's got a bounty on their head. So
will there be bandits in the game? Like maybe NPC people we could go collect bounties for?
Yeah, exactly. And because I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, and so I love the idea of having sort of like savior groups and stuff like that, bad NPCs that you can go in and, you know, have fights with, or get information.
Kind of makes me think of Red Dead Redemption.
Well, that's what when we first started saying this game, where we started sort of like telling people about this game, we're saying don't think of it as Rust or DayZ, because that's not the kind of game we're trying to make. We're trying to make an open world multiplayer survival game, very much like Witcher and Red Dead Redemption. It's a living world that you'll be able to go in with lots of other players and either join up together. You can sort of like, you know, isolate yourself to part of the island and just warn people off and stuff like that.
Don't be sorry, John. That's what they're here for. He just said, "Sorry, Cage. I'm just a big advocate of doing PvP right now." That's cool. How would you get a player bounty on? How would the NPCs get a mission to put a bounty on a player? Like, is it just automatic when they get to a certain rep? Would a player have to like go and ask them to set up the bounty?
Exactly.
Or?
No, what it will do is it will keep track of everyone's integrity throughout the game. And as soon as you get to a certain level, even if you sort of like gone to a certain level and then you've gone back up in integrity, but then you've gone back down again, it will see the fluctuation and how many times you've crossed the threshold in the integrity. So it'll automatically, as word spreads around the island, it will spread to different. So you may have, say, a player has been causing havoc and killing players in the north part of the map. If there's a safe zone in the north part of the map, they'll hear about it before a safe zone in the south part. But that south safe zone will eventually hear about it.
I'm not gonna lie. There's a part of me that wants to make an alt to just get on that bounty list. That would be pretty cool. Just to have everyone coming out there to kill you. Will there be like worldwide chat? Can you like talk crap even though you're halfway across the map?
We're thinking of maybe. I don't know about putting a chat system in. We have talked about it, and it'll probably be a feature that you can probably enable or disable on the server. But we're thinking more of the fact that you have to use your radio to be able to talk to it. So you'll be able to send like encrypted messages, and then that'll pop up. So you have to have sort of like met that player in the game to be able to talk to them or something like that.
Someone was asking how the zombies are going to deal with the weather. Now, the only kind of weather I think that would affect a zombie would be snow. But yeah, I mean, do you have any plans to have the weather affect the zombie anyway, or?
Yes, yeah, with full intentions to have the seasons and the weather affect the zombies. And there'll also be certain zombies that come out at certain times of day as well. We've got one special infected.
So they're not really zombies; they're more special infected, or like a mixture, you know.
Well, the whole thing is based off of a actual real life fungi that they actually used in The Last of Us, but we're not taking the same path as The Last of Us took. They just it naturally sort of spread throughout the world and started turning people into clickers and stuff like that. But we're not doing that. Basically, how we're doing it is, there's a bunch of scientists that, and a pharmaceutical company, which is the main sort of like, what would you call it? Not protagonist. What's the
antagonist?
Word? Antagonist. That's it. They're the main antagonists of the game, and they're called Thanatos Pharmaceuticals. And they have they hired scientists to create and start experimenting with this fungi and using it to cure like cancer, cure AIDS and HIV and stuff like that. But what they actually did is they cured death itself, but it had an adverse effect, is that if the person did die, they would come back and this virus or this fungi would totally take over them, start sort of like trying to spread its disease. But the special infected, there's a reason for it. This is where Thanatos Pharmaceuticals have actually experimented even more on these people and tried to make hybrid strains of their cure for the cancer and stuff like that, and it's turned them into something totally different. So the light may affect them, so they'll only come out at dark, and it may increase their strength and increase their size and their bone density and stuff like that. So there's a whole, and every NPC and zombie or whatever you want to call them is going to have some kind of story behind them, and you'll actually be able to find that out while playing the game as well.
So, as far as your personal inventory goes, we saw the backpack. Are you going to be able to get like fanny packs, or are you going to be able to use your jean pockets, jacket pockets, stuff like that?
Yeah, so we didn't know whether to go for a weight system or just a slot system. So, and at the moment we're using just a slot system. So, in the prototype, you just got a number of slots, and that's it. But what you'll be able to do is you'll start off with just your overalls, your coveralls, and you'll have a certain amount of slots, say 10 slots. If you then get a backpack, that'll then add an extra 30 slots. And if you then change out your overalls for some jeans and a coat that's got 4 or 5 pockets on it, then that'll add more slots to your inventory.
Did you guys ever read a book called The Zombie Survival Guide?
Well, Matt Brooks.
Yeah.
I've read it.
Yeah, I actually own it.
Love that book. Yeah. That's so good. That because they're still talking in chat about how weather affects zombies, and like he was talking about in that book about how like if you're in a dry area, they I think they get preserved in dry areas, but in wet areas, zombies actually would decay quicker and be less of a problem. And in cold areas, they'd really be less of a problem because they'd barely be able to move.
And that's what we're planning on doing. Different areas of the map, because the world of Eden Deer is covered by marshlands, farmlands, mountain areas, giant forests, stuff like that. So there's lots of different types of areas that you'll be able to visit. And depending on what area you go to, it will actually come across different types of enemy and zombies, because it's not going to be just zombies and animals that are going to attack you. You'll also have, without spoiling the story too much, you'll have mercenaries and the military, because the military have gone a bit rogue and they're basically quarantining everyone to different areas, and if you're caught out, they'll just start shooting you on sight. So that's why earlier on I was saying that you'll be able to ambush them, be able to hijack trains where they're shipping goods around the island and stuff like that.
Someone wanted me to ask you about pets. Is there going to be any kind of pets in the game?
Not pets as such, but there is taming. You'll be able to tame horses, wolves, dogs, and also one of the features that I'm really excited, looking forward to, is you'll actually be able to tame falcons and eagles and use them as drones. So you'll be able to actually possess these birds of prey and fly around the island and land in certain areas and listen in on things.
Possess them? Like warging?
Yeah. You'll actually be able to control them, yeah.
Wow.
You'll be able to actually fly around the island.
I'm going to name my guy Bran Stark.
But again, yeah, so that'll be all dependent on your skill system, and then you'll have to go to traders to find equipment to put on the birds to be able to control it. You'll have to get a hawk glove to be able to actually tame it, and have to actually craft special food and catch rodents and stuff like that to feed it and stuff like that, because they will be able to die, and if they die, you'll have to tame another one.
Speaking of really quickly before we get onto that, will we be able to breed them?
It's not something we've talked about, but again, whack it in our Discord.
Yeah, write that down, because breeding would be a huge thing for me. It would be so awesome for long-term sustainability of life to be able to breed the animals for meat and eggs and feathers and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, but you'll definitely be able to build areas to keep horses in, and you'll be able to even take over like we saw in the co-op mode. There was barns, and you'll be able to take over one of the barns to maybe keep cattle, horses, or sheep.
You could even put animal husbandry behind a skill that you have to work at.
Exactly, yeah, because the game, as well as being a survival game, it's going to have a hell of a RPG elements to it as well.
Oh, good. I think that's one thing I like that I've seen sneaking into survival games. Some people aren't happy about it, but I love it. I love, I know you know my game 7 Days to Die, the way they've been putting Fallout stuff into there. And a lot of other survival games I've been playing have started to weave that RPG stuff into it. And I think it's important because if you don't evolve the survival genre, it's going to die because people are going to get bored of it.
Exactly. And, you know, it's one thing that we wanted to do is we're going into a very saturated genre in gaming. Especially with zombies. People have had enough of zombies, they have. But, you know, you think of how many zombie games are out there, how many of them, survival zombie games I'm talking about, I'm not talking about like Dying Light and stuff like that. I know they are a kind of survival game, but they're not, like a MMO survival game. Yeah. But you think of how many MMOs, zombie survival games are out there. How many of them are actually that good to actually play? How much would play?
You were saying there's a lot of them out there. I can't think of any. I can think of 7 Days to Die. And what other zombie survival games out there? I know this sounds like stupid to be asking me, but I can't think of any.
Well, you've got Daisy.
You've got that's a grief simulator. That's not a survival game. Okay, I get it. Yeah, okay. Daisy, fair enough. I'll give you Daisy.
It was supposed to be.
Do they even have zombies in Daisy anymore? I mean, they took them out of Rust.
Yeah, they took them out. Well, Rust was originally a zombie. Yeah, but then you've
Colony
got
Survival.
Miscreated.
Colony Survival, Miscreated.
Yeah, Miscreated. That's more of mutants.
You notice all these zombie games you're talking about really are just PvP vehicles. So the zombies aren't anything to that. Like.
Well, that's why we say don't compare Jaws of Extinction to that, because that is not the path we're taking whatsoever.
Well, if anyone told me when I first heard about Jaws of Extinction, someone told me this is a DayZ or Miscreated game, I would have walked along. I never would have given it a second look because that's not my thing.
I wouldn't have even started the game if I was planning on doing that, because it's just been done and it's not done well. Even if the game looks and runs well, it's still not done well. So that's why we wanted to sort of like look into more of Fallout 4, Red Dead Redemption, The Witcher 3. These worlds, they're living worlds. You jump into them and you actually feel like the world's alive and travel into different areas and meeting different NPCs and different enemies and stuff like that. And that's exactly what we want to do with Jaws of Extinction, but bring it to an MMO level.
Okay, I got a lot more questions here, but we need to get this going. Let's go with some rapid fire questions here. Traps for animals and people.
Yes. So there's going to be lots of different traps that you can craft. We've actually also got some very primitive traps that you'll be able to build. Like, for instance, if you ever watch Walking Dead, when they used to be out camping in sort of like woodlands and stuff like that, they used to tie bits of string with cans and bags and stuff like that. You can do stuff like that. We've actually got a can trap in where you can shove sticks in the ground, a bit of string, and it's got cans. So if someone walks through it, it clangs and stuff like that. And they can break it, and then you can just walk up to it and reattach it and stuff like that. So you're going to have sort of like primitive alarm traps, and you'll be able to use the same thing to be able to plant an explosive to one. So it'll be a tripwire. If you walk through it, it'll cause an explosion, or send a flare up into the air, or something like that. But also you've got the one thing that we're doing as well that I've not seen done before is you're going to actually be able to make base traps. So you're going to be able to plant down or place down spikes inside your base, and then on the floor above have trapdoors. So if people walk over it, the trapdoors will give way and they'll fall into the spikes and it'll kill them. And our spikes... Sorry?
Oh, good. What about spikes?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say our spikes don't just damage you, they do actually kill you.
Okay, so real spikes, real effects. What about concrete? Will you be able to make concrete to build the base out of?
There'll be 4 different tiers. You start off as basic wood, then you'll be able to go up to reinforced wood, and then using scrap metal and concrete. But you'll also be able to upgrade these tiers and add upgrades to them. So you'll be able to add camouflage to them. You'll be able to attach just scrap metal to the side of wooden walls and stuff like that. So you'll be able to actually develop the base. There's no sort of set tier. Well, there is set tiers, but you don't have to stay to that set tier. You can have a wooden wall and then upgrade it by just whacking spikes on the side and put some reinforced scrap metal on.
Will we have different types of transportation, and will those vehicles be paintable?
Not will they only be paintable. Yes, we've got many different vehicles that going in the game. Again, if you watch the Kickstarter trailers on our YouTube channel, also on our Kickstarter page, there's going to be things from trucks to fire engines.
I rode the ATV on my last video on the first prototype.
There's going to be simple things like ATVs and motorbikes, but what I was saying, not only are you only going to be able to paint them, you're going to be able to armor them. And you're going to be able to place reinforced armor on them, and like shovels onto the front, spikes on the wheels, and blades on them, and stuff like that. If you look at the video, it explains it, and that'll show you a basic car, and then sticking the armor to the vehicle and stuff like that.
Someone said, will there be enough resources on a server to sustain multiple people? Now, I know there will be, because you have plans for multiple people. But what I wanted to know with that question is, are you going to be able to plant trees? Are they going to grow back, or?
We are actually currently, we've got a respawn system in at the moment. So it works a bit like how Ark Survival Evolved works, as if a base is not in a certain location after time, the trees will reappear or start growing again.
How about stone and iron? Are there going to be like stone boulders somewhere, or?
It's not going to be like Rust, where you've got to look for certain items or certain nodes. You're going to be able to basically, unless it's a cliffside, if it's just like a bunch of rocks in the middle of the field, then you are going to be able to harvest them. And again, they will reappear after time if they've been completely harvested.
Level cap, and will we have to sacrifice? No, actually, the way you get skills in this game is by doing. So there's no way we're going to be pigeonholed into one thing and not be able to do everything, because right?
It's totally it adapts to the way you play. The whole way we wanted to go with the skill system was it adapts to your play style. So if you enjoy upgrading vehicles, repairing vehicles and stuff like that, then everything to do with your mechanical skills will actually go up. Or for instance, say you prefer a rifle to a shotgun. If you use the rifle a lot, when you pick up a shotgun, you're not going to be so good at it, but you can use it more to get better at it.
Someone wants to know if tamed animals can have equipables. I'm thinking like storage.
Yes, you are going to be able to sort of like, especially horses. And we were even in talks of actually being able to pull carts with horses as well.
How will scrap metal and scavenging raw materials from buildings work?
It will just be laying around the a bit like the lootables. You'll just be able to go to areas and pick up scrap. But there's a rather large scrapyard on the island that you'll be able to go to and harvest scrapped cars and stuff like that to get materials like art.
You're not going to be able to make a base underground because the world is not voxel based, but are you going to have like caves or anything?
Yes, there's going to be caves. There's going to be sewer systems.
Well, can you build in those? I was just.
You will be able to build in those.
Okay, cool. Is there going to be any research for the crafting system? Like, will we have to research things to unlock recipes?
You will be able to gain skills off NPCs and get them to teach you certain things. If you say, for instance, you go to a blacksmith and you want to learn a certain skill, he'll be able to help you level up in a certain skill by giving you tasks to do in it.
Maybe you need enough reputation too.
Yeah, exactly, and that's one way we're going to get against the PvP is because obviously if your integrity is so low, these people aren't going to talk to you, so you're not going to be able to level up in your smithing and stuff like that, because you might get to a point where you need to learn a certain thing and you'll need to go and speak to an NPC or something to be able to be able to do that. But you're not going to be locked behind anything. You're going to be able to progress no matter what, but depending on the way you play is going to determine whether you get held back on that, how quick you progress in certain things.
Will there be in-game voice chat?
Yeah, we were talking about having VoIP. It's probably done very similar to the way Rust does it. So obviously, I think Ark does it the same way. You know, as you talk, your player will move their mouth and stuff like that. We were talking about that, but that will be further down anyway.
All right, guys, it is really late for these guys, so I think I'm going to let them go. All right, thank you for answering all our questions. Thank you for showing me the prototype too, man. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no problem. Hope you enjoyed it.
What are you guys looking forward? What are you guys looking towards in the near future? Like as far as your plans.
Well, hopefully, if we get funded Kickstarter, we'll be able to work solidly full time. The whole team will be able to work full time for 4 months to get this to early access. But that's why we've released the prototype, so people can actually test what we're doing and give us feedback on what we're doing, give us their ideas, and help it grow before we even get to early access. So then when we do reach early access, it'll be a more stable game. There'll be plenty to do. And it just basically, early access will allow us to polish the game and finish certain parts, add more story elements and stuff like that.
All right, guys. I am going to call this video here. This is going to end up being like a 40-minute video. But I mean, I got to tell you, like, I was interested in all the answers, so I don't feel bad about doing it. And if anyone's interested in this game, I hope they definitely watch through the whole video. So thank you guys very much for watching. I will see you next time. And until then, take it easy.